Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. If you enjoy deep, carefully told stories from the world of Turkish entertainment, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next breakdown. Today we're looking at a question that keeps popping up in comment sections. What did Murat Yıldırım's first wife do to Murat Yıldırım? Instead of feeding rumors, we're going to map the full timeline around Murat Yıldırım's early marriage, his rise through landmark projects, the enormous attention brought by Aziz, and how public curiosity often turns private lives into headlines. We'll separate what's known, what's guessed, and what matters. Let's start with the career frame, because the work is why these personal questions exist in the first place. Over 2 decades, Murat Yıldırım has built one of the most recognizable paths in Turkish television and cinema. From early appearances that introduced his screen presence to audience favorites like Hayat Bilgisayar, Aşk ve Size, Scrutiny, and Ramo, he learned to carry a scene with economy, measured voice, attentive listening, and an instinct for stillness when everyone else is pushing. That craft reached a new audience when Aziz arrived on Show TV, a period drama directed by Rıtsai Karagöz and written by Eda Teskin, featuring a stellar ensemble that included Simi Barlas, Damla Sönmez, Firat Tanis, Ahmet Mumtaz Taylan, and Güven Murat Akpınar. Aziz wasn't just another credit, it was a reminder that elegant pacing and lived-in performances can win in a market addicted to loudness. With visibility comes excavation. Fans want the origin story, and the spotlight curls backward to personal milestones. One of those milestones is Murat Yıldırım's first marriage, to Burçin Terzioglu. The two worked in the same orbit, found common ground, and married in 2008. 6 years later, in 2014, they divorced by mutual agreement. That's the public record, and it's both simpler and more humane than the internet's habit of attaching villains to every ending. The years since have seen both continue their careers with discipline and grace, choosing roles that fit their strengths and speaking sparingly about a chapter they clearly prefer to keep in the past. So why does the question, "What did his first wife do to him?" keep coming back? Partly because audiences confuse narrative with narrative closure. We're trained by fiction to demand a culprit, a scene, a single act that explains everything. But adult life is wider. People grow in different directions. Timing phrase. Work swallows weekends. Differences that look small in the honeymoon phase grow teeth during the 100th ordinary Tuesday. None of that needs a villain to be true. When a marriage ends by agreement, the simplest explanation is also the most respectful. Two people took stock and chose dignity over resentment. Of course, the rumor cycle has its own gravity. A stray sentence from an interview becomes a clue. A courtroom term gets ripped from context and turned into content. Anonymous accounts recycle each other's phrasing until repetition starts to feel like proof. You've seen these claims, that someone wanted someone else punished, that a case was waged in public, that silence equals admission. The responsible stance is the boring one, and therefore the least viral. Legal matters, where they exist at all, are private and complex. Statements are rare because that's how people keep pain from becoming programming, and "we parted by agreement" is a complete sentence, not an invitation to speculate. Meanwhile, life moved. Murat Yıldırım married Iman Elbani, and posts from both sides have favored warmth over performance, glimpses that feel like family, not campaigns. That tone aligns with the way he's carried his career. Invest in the work, minimize the noise, and let characters do the talking. It's a pattern that has served him well in Aziz, where the title role demanded restraint rather than spectacle, and where ensemble chemistry mattered as much as the lead's arc. When your craft centers quiet authority, your personal posture tends to follow. Let's zoom back to the projects for a moment, because they're a better measure of a life than the headlines about it. Hayat Bilgisayar taught Murat the rhythms of ensemble work. Aşk ve Size added dramatic weight, the kind that forces a character to negotiate between love and principle without melodrama. Scrutiny sharpened understatement, less speech, more consequence. Ramo tightened his action chops while keeping a pulse on character stakes. By the time Aziz arrived, with Rıtsai Karagöz for composition and Eda Teskin's sense of emotional payoff, the pieces had clicked. A performer who knows when to hold back, and a production that trusts an audience to lean in. Now, about the question you clicked for. When viewers ask, what did his first wife do to him, they are often repeating a baited headline. The truth we can responsibly say on the record is this: Murat Yıldırım and Burçin Terzioglu were married, then they divorced by agreement in 2014. Both have since maintained public respect for one another. They have continued to work, to succeed, and to avoid turning their private history into a spectator sport. Any claim beyond that, assigning motives, quoting private exchanges, painting courtroom battles as proof of moral victory, requires evidence stronger than recycled posts. Unless the people involved choose to share more, the rest is not ours to decide for them. What can we learn from how Murat Yıldırım has navigated this terrain? First, that clarity beats drama. When asked, answer what's fair to answer and return to the work. Second, that boundaries travel better than confessions. A single sentence, "we parted respectfully," will age better than any viral thread. Third, that audiences can grow up, too. The same viewers who love a twist on screen can accept a simple truth off screen. Closure doesn't need a culprit. There's also a media literacy angle here worth stating plainly. Social platforms reward certainty. They do not reward nuance. A caption that says, "we wish each other well," will be outperformed by one that hints at betrayal, even if the latter is fabricated. As fans, we can choose not to feed that system. Save the investigative energy for the craft: how Aziz choreographs silence, why a scene in Ramo lands, which line in Ask ve Caesar snaps the air like a wire. If we keep our focus on the work, the industry takes note, and the coverage improves. For those who came here via Aziz, a quick nod to the team that helped that series sing. Ritzai Karagöz's direction was steady when it could have been showy. Eda Teskin's writing invested in consequence over twist, and the ensemble, Simi Barlas, Damla Sanmez, Firat Tanis, Ahmet Mumtaz Taylan, Güven Murat Akpınar, kept the world feeling lived in. That is the context in which Murat Yıldırım's private life keeps getting dragged into public debate. Success invites attention, attention invites projection, and projection invites rumors. The antidote isn't silence alone. It's recentering the conversation around what got everyone's attention in the first place. So, where does that leave the question? With an answer that respects all involved. Murat Yıldırım's first marriage is a closed chapter marked by discretion and mutual respect. The loudest headlines are not the most reliable narrators. The real story is the work. How an actor built a career that can carry a period epic like Aziz while still feeling intimate, how he navigated high-visibility years without turning his home into a set, and how he continues to choose projects that fit a craft he has been refining since the beginning. Now it's your turn. Which performance made you a Murat Yıldırım fan? Ask ve Caesar, Siskunler, Ramo, or Aziz? What scene do you think best shows his quiet authority style? And how should we, as a community, handle personal questions, acknowledge curiosity without turning people's private lives into our entertainment? Leave your thoughts below. The best conversations on this channel come from viewers who love the art and respect the artists. If this breakdown helped reframe the story behind the headline, don't forget to subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, tap like, and consider joining for members-only deep dives into the craft that makes these productions resonate. We'll keep following the work, not the whispers. And we'll keep doing it with the same principle we ask from the industry: respect first. Thank you for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.